Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the 4 train is out of service for this Subway Series. It's all coming up 7s now as the Mets and Yankees move the series to Queens. Mets put up some big numbers in the Bronx last time around for Derek Jeter here in Flushing as all the stars have gathered. The New York Mets play the New York Yankees. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Flushing. I'm Gary Cohen. Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling join me in just a moment as the Mets continue their Subway Series against the Yankees. The Mets have taken the first 2. More news today for the Mets. Dylan G goes on the disabled list with a lat strain that's in his back. He will miss at least 2 starts. Jacob deGrom will take his spot in the rotation tomorrow, meaning that the Mets will have 2 straight first-time starters tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, it'll be Rafael Montero making his Major League debut for the Mets. The 23-year-old Montero matches up against a different kind of rookie, Masahiro Tanaka, who's off to a 5-0 start in his Major League career. Ron Darling is standing by just outside the bullpens out on the warning track. Ronnie, you're getting a chance to watch Rafael Montero warm up, getting ready for his first start. Butterflies have got to be churning.
Well, let me please tell you, don't ever do this to me again. This close to the bullpen 30 years ago at 23 years old, the same age as Montero, I got to make my same first start. And I'll tell you, you can tell there's some nerves. His warm-up was clean. He's a guy that has a Nureyev kind of motion that just produced strike after strike after strike. So he's a rookie of promise. The Yankees have a rookie also, but he is polished purchase. A guy that just brings so much to the major leagues, hasn't lost in 2 years. And when you think of trying to stop a losing streak for the Yankees, who are suffering some devastating injuries, and of course Montero tonight in his 4th start trying to keep it going for the New York Mets, who are red hot.
And Tanaka trying to keep his own winning streak going. 33 straight wins since August of 2012. So that's what the Mets have to contend with tonight. Coming back from the Bronx, where they scored 21 runs in the 2 games. Now coming back to their bigger park, what kind of impact will that have?
Well, you know what? You've got to make the ballpark your friend. I played at big stadiums, at Busch Stadium, went into Houston, the Astrodome, which was bigger than this ballpark. I like what Frank Menachino did with the Florida Marlins, the Miami Marlins, where he took his team in spring training and said, I don't want you complaining about the size of the ballpark. Make it your friend. Hit line drives. Interesting that Curtis Granderson's comment. It was nice to be rewarded for scoring up a ball. Well, okay, fine. You got to adapt to your playing conditions, and the home environment for the Mets is 81 games right here with a big right field and a big ballpark. You've got to hit line drives.
And the Mets will see whether they can keep the offensive good times going here tonight as Rafael Montero gets set to make his Major League debut against Derek Jeter and the Yankees. All the action coming your way tonight on SNY. Visit your local dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. By Xerox, the company that simplifies the way work gets done. By Delta. Delta offers the most Wi-Fi equipped planes. Delta, keep climbing. By Mitsubishi Motors, inviting you to find your own lane. And by Geico. Get to Citi Field Saturday, May 24th when the Mets take on the Diamondbacks at 4:10 p.m. The first 20,000 fans. Moves to Queens. First pitch coming right up. Well, the Mets offense got most of the attention in the two games in the Bronx, but the defense shown as well, led by Lucas Duda. The Mets have turned 5 double plays in their last 11 defensive innings, and they've done it in all sorts of manners. The 5-3-5-3, the 1-6-3, the bobble 6-4-3, there was all working for the Mets in the Bronx. And they'll try and keep those good feelings going behind Rafael Montero, who takes the Citi Field mound. Not for the first time. He pitched in the Futures game here last year, but for the first time as a big leaguer.
Well, it finally has come to pass. They brought the young kids up. They've been highly touted. And Montero, 23 years of age. I saw him pitch 3 times in spring and impressed me.
Here's your Yankees starting lineup. Pretty much the same unit that Joe Girardi's run out there for 3 days. Brought to you by Hyundai. Mark Teixeira will have to play the field tonight. We'll see how his groin holds up. And also Alfonso Soriano will have to cover a lot more ground in right field than he did at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees dropping the first 2 games of this series despite scoring 7 runs in each of the 2 games, and there are the numbers from AAA for Montero.
Well, he's a guy that doesn't walk people. That's the one thing that they said. He's walked more guys. See the 18 walks and 41 2/3. That's still not terrible. It's under half to 50%. So the 41 strikeouts, outstanding. His demeanor is very impressive on the mound. And we'll take a look at your Metropolitan defense. And here we go. Lagares on the bench tonight. Eric Young just too hot, scored 3 runs yesterday. He sparks the lineup. He's back in there. Murphy red hot. Tejada swinging the bat good. He's getting another start. He should. And there's Recker behind the plate with, they're checking out Darno. May have a concussion.
So Rafael Montero set to throw his first pitch in the major leagues to Brett Gardner, who's 4 for 10 in the series. And the first pitch is bunted foul for a strike 1. So Montero inserted into the rotation with Henry Mejia moving to the bullpen. Tomorrow night, Jacob deGrom will make his major league debut with Dylan G going on the disabled list. It'll be the first time in Mets history that they've ever had first-time starters pitch in back-to-back games.
Ronnie, nice to have you back.
Gardner bloops one, shallow center field, and it's a base hit for Gardner to start the night. So Gardner has been a spark at the top of that Yankee lineup with his 5th hit of the series.
Well, when you watch him, he's a 3/4 thrower. He's not straight over the top. So the hardest place for him to be is to get inside on the left-hander. Didn't quite get it there, and Gardner makes a living on those kinds of hits. Beautiful motion, though, guys. Nice and long arm action, and almost like a whip at the very end.
Now Derek Jeter. Tomorrow will be the last regular season game Derek will ever play in Flushing. And the Mets will have a gift to present him with. Jeter was held in check last night, went 0 for 3 with a couple of walks after a 3-hit game on Monday. 3,348 hits, and it only seems as though they've all come against the Mets. Gardner with 8 steals on the year, and Jeter takes a strike.
One thing you get, guys, from being out there, I was standing right next to Rafael at some point. He's very, he's short, but he's not small. He's got real big shoulders on him, probably bigger than myself. And so he is a strong athlete. And that's what when they talk about him, the scouts, they talk about him as an athlete.
Listed at 6 feet tall, 185, and there's his first pickoff move. 23-year-old Montero, who didn't sign with the Mets till he was 20, taking on the 39-year-old Jeter, who was a star when Montero was a grade schooler. Gets the fastball in for a strike, 1-2. That is an easy 94.
Oh, I'm telling you, he just is as beautiful to watch as you're going to see any motion. And like I said, he's like a whip. It's like a whip. It's nice and slow, puts you to sleep, and then the ball jumps on you.
Everybody's going to be kind of maybe taking a pitch. It's the new guy in the block. Always kind of want to get a barometer of what they throw, how hard they throw, the movement. It brings to mind to me Ted Williams. They used to drive all of his 1 and 2 hitters crazy for the Red Sox. They come in after the first inning. What's he got? What's his movement? How hard's he throwing? How about his curveball? They used to always ask that of his 1 and 2 hitters.
You described facing Jeter. I faced Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, first 3 hitters. It's an eerie feeling. Certainly not how you would know it today with everything out there.
Jeter hits the comebacker. Montero will go to second with it, get the force there. Tejada's return not in time. Not hit all that hard. Montero took his time, made sure of 1 out.
Very nice, Ron. The ball finds him, and he keeps his composure.
You know what I like about this is that I was talking about how an athlete he is. This ball is inside. This is where you got to pitch, Derek, and it gets right in and breaks his bat. But he made a beautiful athletic play. A little curl hop, throwing the ball. And like I've said many times before, it's the only time the pitcher pitches uphill is when he gets a comebacker and he has to make the play at second.
By the way, grandkids, the first out I ever got in the major leagues, I got Derek Jeter.
That's true. Very good, Gare.
Oh, nice.
That's what Montero will say when he's bouncing those grandkids.
So I got it in his kitchen. I jammed him. Doctor and Johnny Franco.
A couple of awfully good Met pitchers watching a new one.
Front runners.
Front rowers.
They're just looking for a free ticket.
Yeah, the dirt knocked down by Recker, a ball and a strike. Anthony Recker behind the plate tonight because last night Travis d'Arnaud got whacked on the top of his head on the follow through of Alfonso Soriano, and they fear that d'Arnaud might have a concussion. No official word on that yet, but the Mets will probably have a AAA catcher on his way just in case they have to put d'Arnaud on the concussion disabled list. So they are playing with just one catcher tonight. So Recker needs to stay out of harm's way. There's the changeup fouled off, 1-2. Some of the particulars on Rafael Montero. As we mentioned, he did not sign until he was 20 years old. The Dominican Republic is on the island of Hispaniola, which shares the island with Haiti. He grew up on the western part of the Dominican over near Haiti, where they didn't play a lot of baseball. Moved to Santo Domingo, the capital, when he was 17, and very quickly thereafter developed himself as a prospect. And here he is just 3 years later. 1-2, foul back.
No, I see that by his birth date, he's a fellow Libra, October 17th. That's why he's so composed on the mound.
It's always nice to have good balance in your life, Keith.
Absolutely.
Ellsbury looking for his first hit in this series. He's gone 0 for 7. Drew 3 walks last night. Met pitchers walked 10 last night in a victory. That hadn't happened in a 9-inning game since 1985. Blowing away, 2-2 to Ellsbury. Montero, a guy who doesn't walk many, although as Keith mentioned, the walks are up this year. For his minor league career, he's at 2.0 walks per 9 innings, but this year 3.9, almost double the walks per 9 innings. And you don't know if that's the Las Vegas effect or what that is. Jeter at first and 1 out. Teixeira on deck. 2-2 to Ellsbury. And he comes low and in with a slider and missed with it. 3-2.
First breaking ball.
First breaking ball, you can see that between the thumb and the forefinger, that big dot on the ball as it goes down and in. Do you run on a guy you don't know?
Averaged about a strikeout per inning at Las Vegas. And Ellsbury, a guy who can strike out. Jeter runs, and Ellsbury makes contact, pops it up. Back goes Tejada over the shoulder, reels it in. Jeter trying to get back. Tejada's throw not in time. Nice play, Ruben Tejada, who has really come alive offensively and defensively these last 4 days.
Well, gets a good break here. It's like a wide receiver catching a long bomb. Keep running. Nice play, Rube.
Rube, is that like meat? So 2 out and a runner at first. And here's Teixeira, who did not start the first game of the series because of a sore groin. DH'd yesterday, but he'll play the field today at first base.
And the big shift, as you see.
And Teixeira takes just out of the strike zone. Ball 1.
And if you recall, Teixeira and that big double play that ended the game with Duda at Yankee Stadium, who had a very difficult time running.
Pops one up. Murphy playing in shallow right goes out. And Murphy, as far out as the second baseman, will ever catch a pop-up to end the inning. So Montero puts up a 0 in his first big league inning. Ruben Tejada helping him out like a wide receiver. No score at Citi Field.
for a new lower price of just...
Nice look at Citi Field with both Met and Yankee fans packed in. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup tonight. Red hot Eric Young stays in. Red hot Ruben Tejada stays in. And the Mets will try and keep things going after 21 runs in 2 days, but they face a very tough assignment against Masahiro Tanaka.
Fastball 92 plus, good slider, split finger like I talked about in the pregame, and composure through the roof.
Just 25 years old. Won 99 games in Japan in 7 years, including going 24-0 last year.
Wow.
Eric Young leads off and takes outside for ball one.
Looks like he's got a little Don Drysdale in him in the back.
He does. He cups the ball in the back.
Mostly fastballs, sliders, and a devastating split-fingered fastball that Ronnie talked about earlier. Ronnie, what makes a great splitter?
A couple of things. One is that it's the same motion as your fastball, so the hitter is thinking fastball, fastball, and then it disappears. Some, though, most pitchers, the great ones that have one, Mike Scott comes to mind in the 80s, that it breaks so late and so nasty, it's almost like a cartoon pitch.
There it is right there.
Watch his motion. Pretty standard. So watch his right hand. See how he cups it there? Almost touches his hip and comes right up the side like he's hiding the ball. And that's the slider grip that he'll throw that back door a lot.
Third baseman Solarte in close against the threat of the bunt. And EY bounces one foul. Young has been an on-base machine in the first inning. Has helped the Mets score in the first inning in 9 of the last 11 games and each of the last 5.
Well, he's scored 5 runs in the 2 games at Yankee Stadium, and he's got to stay in the lineup. He's an energizer.
And if you go back to the game on Sunday, EY's now scored 7 runs in the last 3 games. In fact, he's now 4th in the National League in runs scored, despite being knocked out of the lineup for about 10 days. Tanaka with a 2-2, and it's hammered into the ground. Grabbed by Teixeira, and beats Young to the bag by a stride. 1 away.
And we'll take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Coors Light. Ellsbury, of course. We've got 2 fast guys. It'd be very interesting. Alfonso Soriano in right field. It could be challenged out there in that deep right field. Teixeira is a Wilson Pickett over there at first base. McCann behind the plate.
Here's Daniel Murphy, 3 for 8 in this series, including his 3-run homer high off the right field foul pole last night. Daniel 10th in the National League with that .320 batting average.
Gary, there's 3 ways, Keith, to use your split finger off your fastball. You use it as a change-up kind of pitch, change of pace. You use it as a pitch to get ground balls, or you use it like Tanaka does to wipe you out. That's how good that pitch is.
Well, you got to know one thing coming in. Tanaka's seen the first 2 games. He's seen that Murphy's red hot. That's the one guy he's going to have to pay attention to. He's going to have to pay attention to David Wright. And Granderson, of course, now is out of the element of that short right field at Yankee Stadium, but he's swinging the bat good. You got to respect the fact that he's hit 40 home runs 2 years in a row.
One to Murphy. Goes after that splitter.
Giants.
1-2.
Can I speak to this about the split finger? I tell you what, I wish they never threw it in my time. It took 10 points off my average. I bet you.
It's split grip. It's got a tumbling action. And see how his breaks? It doesn't break till it gets right before the plate. That late break is the key.
Murphy lines one into short left field, and he's got himself a one-out hit. So he threw him the splitter for the second strike, but then came up with the fastball, and Murphy has himself a hit.
He wanted to come inside with the fastball, and he didn't get it there. With the catcher set up way inside, and he misses out over the middle. Enough for Murph to hit it over the shortstop's head. Nice hitting by Murph. Good two-strike hitting.
The way the ball that came out of his hand, though, that had some cutting action. So that was a four-seam cutting action. He just never got it in.
So 1 out and 1 on for David Wright. David's riding an 11-game hitting streak. 4 for 10 in this series. What about Tanaka? Maybe the one thing he doesn't do well is hold base runners. And we all know that Murphy likes to get a little frisky. Masahiro Tanaka, 24-0 last year. He did lose a game in the Japan series, but then came back the next day and saved the deciding game. So he probably gets a pass. But he's won 33 straight decisions over a 41-start span in the regular season. His last loss came in August of 2012. That's just, I mean, I don't care what league you're pitching in. It's impossible.
You want $155 million? Win for 2 years. That's all you got to do.
Well, what's happening right now, what I'm seeing from Tanaka, Ronnie, is that he's not getting the good snap on his slider. He's got his splitter and his fastball, but his sliders, he's trying to find it.
Like most good pitchers, he is vulnerable so far in 7 starts in the first inning. He has not been the same pitcher in the first inning, but once that locomotive goes, it starts going.
If you want to get him, you got to get him early.
Ooh,
high breaking ball.
Interesting.
2-1.
Runner on first base, and McCann is giving a series of signs. That's a splitter, RJ.
That was a hanger, though.
Yes, it was.
He has 2 different types, though. He has the one he throws for a strike, or tries to, as he did there, and the one that he tries to wipe you out on.
That's not one he wants to throw.
David hits one deep to right. Back goes Soriano. They'll have room. Would have been out in the Bronx. It's an out at Citi Field. Wright is retired for the second out.
Well, that's a day late and a nickel short, isn't it? And you know what? You just got to live with it. You just got to get it out of your head. And this ball is clearly a 2-run shot in Yankee Stadium. There's no doubt about it. So,
but then here's the question, Keith. If you're a hitter and you come back and Murphy takes off for second base with Tanaka standing on the mound, nobody paid any attention to Murphy, and he swipes the bag with Tanaka not paying attention.
Solarte didn't even know what happened. He didn't realize it until Murph was on the base. They got caught snoozing.
So that puts a runner in scoring position for Granderson on the unconventional stolen base by Murphy. And Granderson goes after the splitter. 0-1.
You said Murph is frisky. The whole yarn is all over the house when it's Murph.
I want to go back to Wright, though, Keith.
Okay.
As we watch Murphy just take off.
Look at Solarte. Hello.
He had his back to second base. He was stretching his legs.
He's thinking about his at bat. That's what he's thinking about.
It's a fine.
Granderson lines it to right, but Soriano right there. That's it a couple of balls hard in that inning, but Tanaka works out of it without a run. On to the second, no score.
spot along the Delaware River where they harvest the mud that they use to rub up the balls. We can't tell you where we're taking this video from because
it's top
somebody
secret.
might steal the mud.
It's top secret site. They got a battalion of infantry around there protecting the site.
Rafael Montero back to the mound for his second big league inning. He'll take on Brian McCann leading off. McCann 4 for 9 in this series, including a 2-run homer last night. It'll be McCann, Soriano, and Solarte, and the Mets put on the big shift against McCann. I want to go back, Keith, to that David Wright at bat coming out of Yankee Stadium where the ball he hit would have easily been back in the seats, and it's just an F9.
Well,
it's got to have a tremendous effect on a hitter when that happens to you.
Well, you know, I think one of the big mistakes of this ballpark was the right field design with the Mo zone. Remember, it used to be further back. And David is your marquee player. That was his power alley, and they basically took it away from him for reasons I don't know. But you know what? It's a fact of life, and it is frustrating, yes. I played at Busch Stadium, Gary, and I wasn't a home run hitter. But if I had played at Wrigley Field or Veterans Stadium, the old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia where the ball carried, I probably would have hit 18 to 22 home runs a year. Now, would that have affected my batting average? Because a home run is very seductive. And in today's game, the hitters, they want to hit the bomb.
McCann gets under one, hits it along the line.
But we talked about this in between innings, Gary. What's the definition of insanity? You just keep doing something that you're failing all the time. You can get your dauber down. You have very little margin for error in big parks. You've got a spherical ball, cylindrical bat. It's that little fraction of an inch getting under the ball. It's a fly ball here. And that fly ball is an AB. And the average goes down and your power numbers go down. So you really got to be precise.
Into the shift, Tejada with a nice sliding stop from his knees. He throws him out. Tejada continues to shine. Another terrific play.
Well, the Mets have seemed to find some energy. And they've played really spectacular against the Yankees thus far, both offensively in Yankee Stadium as well as defensively. And Tejada's made some beautiful plays in Yankee Stadium, and so has Duda. So nice play. So my point is this, Garrett, and it's just you've got to hit line drives here. And David, when last year, the first 2 months of the season, when he was wearing it out, was hitting line drives.
So the bottom line is that David Wright, who's naturally a fly ball right center field hitter, we saw him hit myriad home runs at Shea Stadium that way. We see him do it on the road. Has to change?
Well, I don't like his uppercut swing. I never have. Okay? I don't care how you give me 90 to 100 runs driven in. So, give me the runs batted in, the clutch runs, and you give me the 90 to 100. Whether you hit 20 home runs doing it, or 30, or you hit 10, it's all the same. It's all about getting the runs home.
Soriano scorches one, but right at Tejada, and he throws him out, 2 out. I mean, Terry Collins was joking today. He was asked during his pregame press conference, how do you keep the power going that you displayed in the Bronx, hitting 6 home runs in 2 games? How do you keep it going here? And he said, move the fences in 25 feet.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'd care to see that.
You probably won't continue it here. That's the point.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah. And the question is, as an offense, how do you deal with that?
But, look at the Mo zone out there in right center field. Look where the 375 sign is. 375 is not very far. I mean, Wrigley Field, the gap is 368. So 375 is fair. It's not like it was before where it was like a 390 shot.
The difference, though, is it's 355 probably at Yankee Stadium. That's the difference.
Well, Yankee Stadium's a whole different breed of cat.
Well, those are some stark numbers. Both stadiums opened the same year in 2009, and there have been several hitters hit well over 60 home runs. Nobody has more than 42 in this ballpark.
Mike won't be here for the next 5 years. He'll still be on the list.
Now, Jarvis Solarte right now is your American League batting leader Comes into the day hitting .336. Rookie has come out of nowhere to have a spectacular start for the Yankees, and boy, have they needed it.
He's last, though, in covering second on an attempted steal in between pitches.
He made a very costly throwing error on a double play ball last night, and also he olayed a ball that opened up the floodgates in Game 1. So what I've seen of him defensively, he's a little challenged at third, but he can swing the bat.
Montero behind him, 3-1 with 2 out. And he walked him. Poor effort on flipping the bat away by Solarte. Couldn't get it away from home plate. Almost hit the catcher.
What happened is it sticks in the pine tar in your hand. You go to flip it, and it won't leave your fingers.
It happened.
I think this was a change up here by Montero. Oh, maybe a split change. Because you can see he doesn't have the tumbling action. Right. He has that spinning action. So it's I explained it. Use it for ground balls. Use it to wipe out people. Use it for a changeup. He uses it as his change.
So the first walk issued by Montero. And now here's Brian Roberts. 1 for 7 in the series. Hitting at .234 for the year. And he rockets one down the right field line. Foul.
Well, I must say right now, and I'm not the least bit surprised with the time that I've seen Montero pitch in spring training. He seems unfazed, Ron. He's throwing strikes.
He's got a nice demeanor for a pitcher. You know, I mean, he's not excitable, as you can see, but we haven't seen him in trouble yet. I mean, you know, this is the start of a hopefully a great process for him.
And a check swing foul at the plate. 0-2 to Roberts.
His fastball to me looks sneaky. He's got that nice easy motion, and I can see the hitters when he throws inside. It kind of sneaks up on a left-hand hitter. So I think it shows me he's got a sneaky fastball.
Well, they call him Little Pedro after Pedro Martinez, but he throws more like Pedro's brother, Ramon Martinez.
Ramon was a little taller than both Pedro and Rafael Montero. He's ahead on Roberts 0-2. Line to left.
Driving attempt by Young, and he can't get it, and that's going to enable the Yankees to get a run. Solarte will come all the way around from first. And pulling into third is Roberts, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, with the pitcher standing on deck, that's a terrible play by Eric Young.
Well, also, too, Gary, A for effort. Not wise with the 2 outs and the pitcher, but also too, Tanaka is on the mound, who has been undefeated. So you want to just keep the ball in front of you and keep it where the pitcher's got to drive in the run. Ill-advised.
This hustle, and this hustle with intelligence. And right here, Eric made the wrong choice. Simple as that.
It's a triple for Roberts. His second triple of the year, his 9th RBI. That's the first run scored against Montero in his big league career. And now Tanaka, who's 0 for 3 in the major leagues, takes a strike. He says, I'm not very good at hitting.
Yeah.
But in his high school career, he's a big home run hitter.
Well, he's an athlete. He's definitely an athlete. He's bigger than you think. He'll compete up there.
It's not a bad swing.
All right. And when I say compete, what does that mean? It means a guy who never gets any at-bats is going to battle you up there. He's going to give you everything he's got, whatever that is.
That's a nice swing. He's got a chance up there.
0-2 for Montero, and Tanaka takes the slider outside.
Interesting. He's got the pad on his elbow and on his foot and shin.
He's prepared.
Very. Well, both pitchers' sliders have eluded them so far. Neither one is breaking with a lot of snap.
Interesting that Reckers called predominantly fastballs to get Montero loose and into the game. But with the runner on third and the pitcher up, throwing sliders.
2-2. Fastball fouled away.
Beautiful stadium.
Roberts at third and 2 out with a run home. And Tanaka hits one down the right field line. Overcomes Granderson. And that retires the side. But a 2-out walk and an ill-advised dive give the Yankees a run. They lead 1-0 in the second. Allows a run in 7. The Nats score 4 in the 9th and beat Arizona 5-1. And Mike Moustakas, who's just had a dreadful time of it, gets a 3-run double, enough for the Royals to beat the Rockies today 3-2. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Masahiro Tanaka take to a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Chris Young leads off for the Mets. Young 2 for 9 in the series. Had a good game on Monday night with a double and a home run. 0 for 5 last night. A little surprising to come to the ballpark and see Chris Young's name in center field and not Juan Lagares's. But that's the tightrope that Terry Collins has to walk right now with 4 outfielders for 3 spots. Young pops it up. Who's going to get it? Only 1 infielder, so Soriano has to race in and barely avoid the collision as Roberts is able to make the catch. Woo. That looked like a disaster ready to happen. 2 freight trains headed in the opposite direction.
Well, Teixeira backs off, but needs maybe could have did a little field generaling there. Boy, oh boy.
A good thing Soriano saw Roberts coming. Otherwise, that could have been terrible.
See where Roberts had to come from.
It's all about the shift that caused this. Wow.
Teixeira was the only infielder on the right side, so Roberts had a long way to go.
Nice.
Duda, and he takes curveball for a strike. Duda 3 for 8 in this series, and they put the big shift on against him as well, with Jeter alone on the left side.
Last year there were about 8,500 shifts around baseball. 14,000 they're anticipating this year. Keith, you'd have to be like Tom Matty and have all the shifts on your forearm to make sure you knew where you're going.
Tom Matty, that's an old one. Bring one back. Baltimore Colts.
Number 41. Well, ultimately, the shifts are more successful than not. That's why they're using them. But it certainly makes the dynamics of the game more difficult at times, especially on a play like that.
Oh, good cutter right there.
What it does, sorry, Keith, to cut you off, it eliminates part of the plate for you as a pitcher. Is that I used to be a fastball away, sinking fastball away. This is a good cutter here by Tanaka.
I'll say.
That would almost take it away from me against Lucas Duda. That my best weapon would be taken away. I'd have to go soft.
That's a pinpoint right there.
First strikeout for Tanaka.
Back to back. Same pitch, same spot. And you don't want a guy like Tanaka getting on missile lock here.
Oh, great shot.
Couldn't you get your people some better seats?
Now, wait a minute. That's the seats I usually get.
Never.
Now Anthony Recker. 10th start of the year for Recker. Mets are 7-2 when he starts. Never stop improving. That's the career in Japan, culminating with last year's 24-0 whitewash.
Whoa.
Tanaka was on the Japanese Olympic team for Beijing Olympics in 2008 as a 19-year-old, the youngest player ever to appear for Japan in the Olympics.
He's a virtuoso. I mean, he's been primed to be great ever since he was 6 or 7 years old.
He's throwing his fastball, and it's 92. It's not like he's throwing through a brick wall.
But he hides the Keith. He's deceptive.
And he paints.
And he paints.
He's on the corners.
Did you see his exasperation on Tanaka? He's like, get in the box. Let's go. Come on.
One-two to Recker. Skipping away. 2-2.
He hardly has any motion, huh, Ron?
Yeah, no, he doesn't push off too much. He doesn't have a big Hideo Nomo kind of over the head. It's very, very simple. Kind of rocked back and forth 3 times or so. Doesn't really be rocked though like Dice K. It's almost just a little shuffle, and then he goes.
2-2. And Record down on the splitter. And that'll do it for the Mets in the second. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tanaka. On to the third. Yankees 1, Mets nothing. Yankees will have the top of the batting order coming up against Rafael Montero, and we're very pleased to be joined from the Mets dugout by Mets third base and infield coach Tim Teufel. And I put the emphasis on infield because the infield play has been just spectacular in this series.
Yeah, the guys have really come together. Murphy's very comfortable out there. Turned some great double plays at Yankee Stadium, and then Duda, what a play he made the other night. Tejada made a beautiful diving catch, and you know, 5 is 5. You know, David's so consistent over there.
Duda seems to be getting more relaxed, Tim. You know, playing every day now. He's loose. He's really good at scoops, but you know, the plays he made yesterday, you know, obviously the game-ending one was great, but the double play ball prior in the 8th inning, the way he came and got the ball and turned and made a nice throw, got rid of it quick. You've been working on him with that?
Well, he's been working hard on that. You know, he's so conscientious about what he does, and he knows that's part of the game, and he wants to get really good at it. You know, that started way back in spring training. Him and Davis out there, and we emphasized the 3-6-3. We didn't turn that many that last year, and we hardly turned a 3-6-1 at all last year. So that was something we're trying to improve on.
Tough. You played in a hitter's park, the Homer Dome, as they used to call it. How much frustration do you have when you go to other parks that are so huge that your fly balls get gobbled up?
Yeah, and that's what the Yankees are going through tonight. You know, they're going to be, you know, at a big ballpark. Last night we were kind of in a bandbox, you know, so you see a lot more home runs, and you know, this ballpark here, you know, you're looking at hitting doubles, singles, and manufacturing some runs, and occasional home run, but you're not going to see a home run fest here.
How, as a coaching staff, can you help your hitters through that? In other words, you know, David Wright hits a fly ball that clearly would have been a home run in the Bronx. How do you help the mindset of your hitters to make the adjustment?
Well, you know, you can't hit according to the ballpark. You just got to keep, you know, keeping your stroke, working on the gaps, and you know, I always say that a home run is a line drive mistake. You know, you just got under it just a hair more, and it took off. So it's one of those things that you know, you go to Denver and the ball's flying. You go to Yankee Stadium, it's short, it's comfortable. You go to Philly, it looks comfortable. We're going down to Washington, that looks very comfortable to hit in. So there's all different comfortable ballparks, and you know, as a hitter, it is a psychological thing. You know, back in the day, I hated San Fran and I hated Los Angeles. Those were just big ballparks, and now you know, some ballparks are becoming a lot more friendly, and you know, this one is not for a right-handed power hitter going into the right center gap.
Tough. When you came to the Mets, you played in front of 45, 50,000 every night. Fly ball by Gardner, gobbled up by Granderson. How do you think it feels for today's player and your players to play in a big house?
Oh, it's great. You know, this is a great atmosphere. I think our guys certainly, you know, raised an equation last night where they, you know, they just played great. You know, they just came all together. Granderson stepped up, has 2 home runs in Yankee Stadium, and answered that call, and you know, they just played great at Yankee Stadium. So getting in front of a big crowd, you know, every player loves to get and play in that situation. It kind of pumps you up.
Timmy, you got to face one of the most devastating splitters when you face Mike Scott. You watch Tanaka, and you see something similar?
Yeah, he's got that splitter. Tonight, you know, if you have a low ball umpire, he's going to be nasty. But so far, he hasn't been calling a low pitch. So, you know, hopefully we can raise that, you know, that splitter up in the zone and it gets a good wax at it.
All right, Timmy, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Tim Teufel joining us from the Mets dugout. Some good insight there. And I'll tell you what he and those infielders have done has been spectacular. Derek Jeter batting against Montero, and the slider off the plate, 2-1.
Tough is just, he said something the other night. I was listening to him talk about being a coach, and he said it's almost like being a servant or a caretaker to the game. And I thought that was how he treats it. Tough is beyond reproach, man. He is just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, that is so conscientious about what he does and takes it so serious in how he coaches these young men. And I'm glad they're in his call, his take.
2-2 to Jeter, who hit a comebacker into a fielder's choice his first time up. Lines one the other way. Foul.
ball boy was a little late getting out there. Look at the glove. Oh, well, you're going to get rid of the chair first.
Only if you're with Lions and Tigers, maybe you keep the chair.
Look at that glove. Well, Montero is not afraid to throw his fastball. I like it.
One thing you've noticed, though, and I know we're only in the third inning, but very few pitches inside to right-handers or left-handers so far.
Jacoby Ellsbury on deck. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming to Jeter. And the breaking ball fouled off. Rafael Montero, 23 years old. He will not do what the last three Mets starters who made their major league debuts did. Each of the last three didn't allow a run. Zach Wheeler most recently, Colin McHugh, Matt Harvey. He's already given up one tonight. Oh, and Jeter.
Good. Tied him up inside.
There's one inside. Beautiful.
Tied him in a 9. Well, Jeter dives. We all know that.
Yep. When that'll stop you from diving.
They got him out the first time inside, went back up and in.
That'll make you think twice. Double up on it.
But like all good hitters, they just seem to foul that pitch off, stay in the at-bat.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming from Montero. And he bounces one. 3-2. Full count to Jeter. And he goes down swinging on the low fastball. First major league strikeout for Rafael Montero is Derek Jeter.
First out, first major league strikeout, and it's on a sinker down. Late in life, a nice catch, I think, on a tip by Jeter. I was saying in the pregame, he just is so fluid. It's a lot of working parts, which you usually don't see in today's game, but they all come together so beautifully because he's controlled and quiet. There's not a lot of herky-jerky motion.
So Montero with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning. And Ellsbury takes a strike. Ellsbury hit a pop-up into shallow left center that Tejada caught with a nice over-the-shoulder grab. Ellsbury now 0 for 8 in this series. Ellsbury, like Tanaka, got an enormous contract in the offseason as the Yankees sought to retool after an 85-win season last year. Tanaka got 7 years, $155 million. Ellsbury got 7 years, $153 million. In all, the Yankees spent nearly $500 million on free agent acquisitions this past offseason. And they're at 500.
And part of that is 60% of the rotation is on ice.
1-2. Up and in. Well, by definition, and the exception would be Tanaka, when you sign free agents, you make yourself an older team.
Yeah. Unless you're 25.
Right.
And that's
a specialized situation.
I said a polished purchase at 25 years old.
2-2 for Montero, and Ellsbury watches the slider at his feet. 3-2.
Guys probably didn't hear the pregame, but when I was out there, I had a Pavlov dog moment. I was standing right next to the bullpen. The national anthem started playing. I started to get really nervous, just like 20 years ago.
That may never change. Ball 4, and Ellsbury's on with a 2-out walk. Second walk given up by Montero. Well, we mentioned the last 3 starters to make their debuts for the Mets, and every one of them put up a 0 in the run column. And if not for some injudicious defense in the second inning, Montero might be working on the same. Colin McHugh is at a resurrection since going to Houston after flaming out with the Mets following that great first start against the Rockies. Here's Teixeira, who popped up to Murphy his first time.
A big vicious uppercut here. You can't swing more up than this.
You know, we talked about coming back to Citi Field and its effect on the Met hitters, but it's got to have an effect on the Yankees to come out of the Bronx where an easy fly ball to right's a home run.
I don't know. It doesn't seem to affect any of the other teams that come into this ballpark, you know, like because they don't play 81 games here. It doesn't affect them. Maybe it does the Yankees because they play here every year.
This is not your typical Yankee lineup we've used to be seeing over the years. This is not a power hitting lineup by any stretch of the imagination. So if you get a big bombing team that thrives on home runs, they're going to have problems in this ballpark.
Montero ahead 0-2. There goes Ellsbury. Recker's throw on a hop, and too late to get Ellsbury, who steals his 11th base.
Well, even a perfect throw is not going to get Ellsbury. Too good a jump. It's really good footwork by Recker.
Ellsbury, three-time American League stolen base champ, including last year when he swiped 52 for the Red Sox.
You know, that gave us a really good sign of how important it is for the catcher that he comes out low because he's still trying to get the called strike as he's staying low and then rises and makes the throw. That was a nice job by Recker.
Runner in scoring position for Teixeira with the count 1-2. Change up misses. 2-2.
You know, Garrett, an example of a ball club that we thrived on power as a kid growing up, the Giants with McCovey and those great Giant teams, Mays, Felipe Alou,
Jim Ray Hart.
They couldn't win in the Astrodome. They lose the pennant in the Astrodome in September because of that big ballpark, and they go down to Dodger Stadium, and Chavez Ravine was one of the biggest parks in the league, and they had a difficult time. Of course, there was Koufax and Drysdale. That had a lot to do with it.
Interesting in that mound conversation, Tejada part of it. Montero is not very polished with his English, and so I'm sure Tejada is helping with communication there.
Good.
The Mets have done a great job over the years with their Latin American players of immersing them in English. Problem is Montero hasn't been in their farm system very long, so he has not yet gotten the language skills that he would like. 2-2 to Teixeira. Inside, full count. Third straight full count for Montero, whose pitch count is rapidly rising. Maybe not quite at a Wheeler-esque pace. Zach threw 118 last night in 4 1/3. A little hard to watch. Three-two coming. Teixeira fouls back the fastball. Time for the Coldwell Banker home field advantage. That's starting pitchers this year. Thriving at home, not so much on the road.
Well, they had that really tough series in Colorado.
That certainly contributed to it.
They got batted around there.
3-2. Popped up a mile high. Tejada drifting under it. Side retire. A walk in one left and a hard working inning for Montero. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the third, down 1-0. Series, so what better place to visit than the New York Transit Museum, celebrating all things subway. It's an old streetcar from the Grand Street line from 1913. Vintage subway cars. And on its side.
Well, that's amazing, right?
That's New York on its side. Very odd.
Yeah.
Ruben Tejada leads off in the home third against Masahiro Tanaka and lines one into right center. On comes Ellsbury to grab it. 1 out. Well, we have rolled this one out for the second time in this series. The tell of the tape on the 7 and 4 train. 7 seems to have the significant advantage in wait time and seats available.
I don't know about the 28 minutes. I think the 7 train takes more than 28 minutes. Even the express after 3 o'clock, Gary. I know it.
In the morning?
At night. In the afternoon. In the morning.
Next stop, Woodside.
It takes 2 minutes at 3 in the morning.
First big league at bat for Rafael Montero. He's 5 for 35 in his minor league career. Looking to become the first Met pitcher to get a hit this season. Not with that swing. 0-2. Elias has gone to work on the Mets pitchers over. They're 0 for 63. There have only been 2 longer streaks ever at any point in a season. Mets already have by far the longest streak to start a season, which now is extended to 0 for 64, which ties the second longest at any point in the season with the 1946 Cleveland Indians. The only longer streak now belongs to the 1914 Cleveland Indians, who went, and this may take a while to get there, 0 for 92.
Wow.
In the middle of the year.
Wow.
So Montero badly overmatched in his first plate appearance.
Trying to figure out how he got 5 hits and 35 at bats.
Wasn't facing Tanaka.
Oh well. Don't worry about it, Rafael. It's all about the pitching.
I think all of his attentions are focused on the mound. His first start.
You got a hit in your second at bat?
Second at bat, Tony Gelfi. It was a bleeder between third and short. Line drive now.
You are one of 7 Met pitchers to get a hit in their major league debut. Good company. Tom Seaver did that. Matt Harvey did that. He had 2 hits in his first start.
Harvey's such a topper, isn't he?
Dylan G had a hit in his first start. Eric Young grounded out his first time up and looking to drag a bunt, pops it back over the screen. Now tomorrow the Mets will have Jacob deGrom make his major league debut, and the Yankees will also have a first time starter. Taking CC Sabathia's spot will be right-hander Chase Whitley. Last time he had 2 first time starters go head to head. That was in Dylan G's debut back in 2010 against the Nats, when Yuneski Maya started for Washington in his first major league appearance. All sorts of stuff going on. Little grounder down to Teixeira, easiest of plays, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tanaka. Just a 7-pitch inning. He's retired 8 straight. 3 in the books. Yankees 1, Mets nothing. Montero goes to the mound for the 4th inning, and we check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
I was wondering today, Gary, if it's possible, if you're a good prospect, to get bored in AAA. It may sound a little bit ridiculous, but that's what one scout had mentioned to me about Montero. You know, he had dominated in AAA for a while, and Gary, you had mentioned it the other day. His walk rate wasn't as good as it's been in the past, but maybe he had just done all he could on that level to waiting for this call to come up here. It reminded me a lot of Matt Harvey. Now, 2 different pitchers, 2 different scenarios. I get that. But I talked to Harvey about Montero today, and he said, you know, I think one thing for me, watching him the last couple of springs, I mean, he's fearless. And I could tell you, you could see that, you could sense that. He said, I can only go on my experience about being in AAA. He said, I think it hindered my results. I didn't say that when I came up. I didn't think that when I came up. This is a shot. And Granderson, no. The park will hold it. 1 away. McCann retired. Anyway, Harvey said, you know, I didn't admit it when I came up, but thinking back now, I think the fact that it was on my mind for sure, just waiting for that call, hoping that call would come, it did affect my performance. Who knows? Maybe even I would be up in the major leagues earlier if I didn't think about that really from the time I was drafted. And so you wonder how Montero handles this today and going forward. Was it time for the change? Was it time for the right move? Time will tell. Gary?
You know, you came up from AAA. You don't have the name on the glove. You have Louisville.
The name will be there before long. Alfonso Soriano grounded out to short his first time. And takes a fastball strike, 1-1. Well, it was a very rapid rise through the Mets farm system for Rafael Montero. Faster than most who get signed out of the Dominican. As we mentioned several times, he was older than most when he signed.
You know, Kevin, that was interesting what you were talking about. I think Sandy Alderson used the word stale. And what happened to Julio Teheran, there's his minor league numbers. He won 16 games in 2011. He didn't make the team out of spring training. He went back in 2012 and had a bad year. I think that can happen sometimes when you feel like you've maxed out in the minor leagues.
Easy play for Tejada, 2 out.
And of course we know, despite today's game, how good Teheran is.
And Teheran got knocked down in the 4th inning by the Giants. His second bad start against the Giants, who whipped up on him 10-4 today. Giants at 26-15, and I don't think that most people picked them to win the West this year. A lot of people were picking the Dodgers.
I think you're right, because it's almost like I don't know, what do they used to call the Lakers in the 80s?
Showtime.
Showtime. It's almost like Showtime in LA. But you know, every even year, the Giants do pretty well. Someone throw the ball, knock them in. Oh, he's got a Yankee uniform on.
Send to the Clowns.
Oh no!
It doesn't fall into water though; it falls into like foam.
Oh, it's boring. 2-0 to Solarte, who walked and scored the only run of this game in the second.
Well, this guy's going to walk the ballpark.
Better out there. We saw enough from the actual mound last night. 2-0 for Montero, and Solarte takes ball 3. Well, each of the last 2 innings, Montero's had a chance for a 1-2-3 and then walked a hitter with 2 out. And in danger of doing the same again with Brian Roberts, who's driven the only run of this game on deck. Has a strike, 3-1. Drilled down the right field line, headed toward the stands. It's out of here. Solarte found the short part of Citi Field. A line drive home run, his 4th of the year and his 2nd in this series. And it's 2-0 Yankees.
Well, got 3-0, hit it on 3-1. Sitting on a fastball, and why not? He continues to hit.
Your American League batting leader, Yangervis Solarte, keeps on hitting. 6 for 9 with 2 home runs in this series. Brian Roberts, who drove in the first Yankee run with a triple.
Well, it looks like a fastball right down Broadway. Outer half, belt high. And he had one thing in mind. He went down on a knee on that one.
He pulled the belt tray.
That's right.
Ball's ripped right down the line.
Boy, he is living the dream, isn't he?
Guy was a journeyman minor leaguer, let go by the Twins, let go by the Rangers. Yankees signed him as AAA fodder as much as anything. Made the team out of spring training. 26 years old and just having a fantastic start. Roberts pulls one over the glove of Duda and down the line. He'll have his second extra base hit of the night. It sticks in the corner, so Roberts will try for 3, and Roberts has his second triple. Ball stayed in that deep right field corner and didn't come out for Granderson, and so Roberts able to take the extra base.
Almost the same spot the home run was hit, Ronnie. Belt high, outer half.
Roberts has a little different swing, though. He has that top hand that comes over the ball.
Yeah, but got stuck in there, and that's the difference. And Roberts hustling out of the box.
He still run at age 36.
Yep, see, he didn't need his coach. There you go.
He is well-schooled player. Injuries are the only thing that has cost him.
Son of a coach. Played for his dad in college at both North Carolina and South Carolina.
Dan Worthen testing out his Spanish right now.
His Spanish is pretty good.
It is. It's very good.
Better than ours.
It's got to be on your resume, huh?
Yeah.
It certainly helps.
Yep. I wish it was on my resume.
It's got a little Japanese too, by the way.
He does. Yeah, well, you have to have that also.
Tanaka for his second at bat hit his first fair ball in the big leagues. His first time up, flied out to right. Struck out 3 times in Milwaukee in his last start. First time he had swung a bat in the big leagues. So Montero again finds trouble with 2 out. 2 out walk in the second inning wound up costing him a run. Here after 2 out and nobody on, the home run by Solarte, and Roberts follows with his second triple. Tanaka grounds one right at Murphy down to a knee. A lot of people on their knees in this inning. Side retired. Solarte took a knee and cranked one out of the ballpark. His 4th home run. Yankees 2, Mets nothing in the 4th. Well, they finally got him. Down into a pile of fluff.
Yeah, but he walked the ballpark before he finally struck him out.
No, that's the reliever.
Always bringing those hard throwers out of the pen. Masahiro Tanaka now with a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Daniel Murphy has been the only Met base runner. He singled to left against Tanaka in the first. Since then, the Japanese right-handers retired 8 in a row. Starts Murphy off with a sinker for ball 1. Tanaka has struck out 3. Back when he was in high school, Tanaka struck out 458 batters, which set a Japanese high school record. Whose record did he break? Daisuke Matsuzaka. Bet you could have guessed that one.
Yes.
They revere their high school pitching stars. Murphy drives one to right. Soriano back, and he makes the catch. Nice last-minute extension by Soriano on the retreat. And Murphy staring out at him. He couldn't believe it.
Well, not known for his glove, and he makes a heck of a play here. And Soriano doesn't move well in his latter stages of his career.
Well, we've certainly seen ample demonstration of the difference between the ballparks in this game, haven't we? Wright hit one, McCann hit one, now Murphy hits one, all of which would have been out of Yankee Stadium.
That's would have 3 runs right now.
There's Wright, who hit one with a warning track in right, his first time up.
Nice
curveball for a strike.
Nice hook.
So let me ask you a question, because Ronnie, we talked to Keith extensively tonight about the difference between pitching in the Bronx and pitching, hitting in the Bronx and hitting here.
Yeah.
What about pitching? I mean, here's Tanaka. He's used that big part of the ballpark a lot tonight. Is that by design? Would he pitch differently if he were in the Bronx?
I don't think he has enough experience here. As he's shaking his head, he's not happy with that slider because he hung it. And he's trying to make the adjustment. He doesn't have enough experience in these ballparks to be pitching differently. He's a perfectionist. He is a person that if I'm throwing my pitches correctly, I don't care what ballpark I'm playing in. I play in a bowling alley.
Roberts says Wright played perfectly. 2 out.
But he's an elite pitcher. I think if you're talking about the majority of guys, I think that if I were pitching here, and this was my home ballpark, I would say if it's 2-0 and I'm facing Mike Schmidt, home run hitter, I'm going to throw it away and I'm going to make him hit it to center field. And if he takes me out over the apple, he takes me out over the apple. But I'm going to use the ballpark as a friend, not a foe, as opposed to wind blowing out in Wrigley.
Absolutely.
There's Granderson, who hit a bullet to Soriano in right field his first time up. So Tanaka, after giving up the base hit to Murphy, has retired 10 straight. Chris Young would be next.
Tanaka hasn't been happy with his slider all night, and he's been hasn't been terrific. He's had some brilliant moments. Duda has been on the receiving end of his best cutter, but the slider's been a little bit flat and lazy. And Ronnie picked it up nicely. He's shaking his head on that one slider he threw last at bat. To Murph, he was unhappy, or to Wright, excuse me. There's the cutter right there. He seems to have it on the left-handers, that little cutter to get got good location. This is hard to lay off, folks. It starts out around 1 inch, 2 inches on the plate and breaks 2 inches off the plate. It's hard to lay off.
1-2 to Curtis. He bounces a splitter. 2-2.
But I also think for the majority of pitchers to get back to, here's the splitter. He just bounces this one because he wanted to make sure he was ahead 1-2. Let's make sure I bounce it. Maybe Curtis will swing over it. Most pitchers are a kind of pitcher. You know, it's hard for them to make adjustments depending on the ballpark. Just like hitters are a certain way. It's hard for them to change all of a sudden because they're playing at a certain field.
Granderson hits it to left center. Over comes Gardner, and he makes the grab to retire the side. 11 in a row set down by Tanaka. After 4, Yankees 2, Mets nothing.
year, the Mets and the Yankees knock heads as New York has its capsule version of the old Nickel World Series. This is the Mayor's Trophy game. His honor with Don Grant, chairman of the Met Board. The gate receipts for this one go to the Mayor's Sandlot Baseball Fund, which helps develop the talent of boys on New York lots. Boys like Eddie Cranepool, who just made the hit to knock in Ken Boyer.
Long before interleague play began, there was the Mayor's Trophy game. It was the only time the Mets and Yankees got to see each other in New York. They'd play in spring training as well, but it wasn't until 1997 that they played for real. Fifth inning, Brett Gardner takes a ball from Rafael Montero.
An interesting shot there of the Boyer brothers, Cleat and Ken. Both third basemen, both Gold Glovers.
I like the fake bat crack. My favorite part of the whole thing. Brett Gardner 1 for 2.
Were you ever part of in the minor leagues where you always went on the road, or did you do it back in studio? Had it fed to you as a
recreation? No, I've never done recreation.
Okay,
that's got to be an art form all to itself. When the Giants first moved to San Francisco, there used to be recreations done of those games to the New York audience. Les Kiter would do those games on New York radio. 2-2.
I remember playing the Mayor's Trophy game. I forget what year it was. It was a cold day in the older Yankee Stadium. And I remember Darryl Strawberry hit a home run off Dave LaPointe that he almost hit out of Yankee Stadium. It went all the way to the end of that tunnel. Remember that that tunnel that ran out in right center?
Right. Between the stands.
Yeah.
And the bleachers. Used to be the bullpen long ago.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, and when I played there, Gary, in '74, 73, they recreated our road games because we had a big run in the end and won the championship late, so they had recreation.
Complete with back crack. Montero throwing a lot of pitches, having trouble to putting the Yankees away.
Yeah, he does not have a good slider tonight. He's probably just overthrowing it because he's nervous and amped up. And he's also not able to get inside on the left-handers with his fastball. So his control is just a little off.
So Henry Mejia doing some stretching there. Gardner yanks one down the right field line foul. Gardner singled to lead off against Montero in the first inning. Flied out in the third. The Yankees have had just 4 hits, but Montero has run into 2-out trouble on a couple of occasions. 8th pitch of the at bat to Gardner, and he yanks one foul again.
Gardner's a nice little player, isn't he, Keith? He can play on my team any day.
He's having some pretty good cuts here against Montero here. Maybe they've gotten beat on him a little bit.
Again, the 2-2. Struck him out with a changeup. Second strikeout for Rafael Montero.
Just a good changeup, and like we saw with Teixeira and Jeter, late movement.
So 1 out. Derek Jeter coming up. Let's check in with Kevin.
Talking about game recreations, I'm pretty sure Zach Wheeler does not want to recreate last night's start. That's for sure. He was as angry as I've ever seen him after the game last night. Understandably slow with that big lead. Couldn't get through the 5th inning. I asked him if he can take anything out of that or if he throws it away. He says, you throw the game away, but absolutely you take something out of that. So for me, the biggest issue is that I just couldn't get my release point all game. It never felt right. I tried. It just never got there. Dan Worthen today said it's possible I might have been over-rotating a little bit too much, but trust me, tomorrow I will watch that video and absolutely see what I'm doing, and I've got to get it fixed. in the video room before I go out to that bullpen and figure it out before the next start. You know, Ronnie, my question to you is, with Wheeler, he's been concerned about his slider, and then right next to play, Jeter out. And now he says he can't find his release point. Is that a common thing? Does that happen, or how do you feel about those statements?
Well, it definitely can happen, Kevin. Don't forget that he's already tinkered with his windup once this year.
Yeah.
So when you tinker early in the season, it means that you don't feel real comfortable with where you're at, and you don't want to do that after 6 or 7 starts if you can help it. Now, he felt as though he should make that move and try to have a little more of that deception. I think for, you know, and it's not easy, it isn't, but for Zach moving forward, he's going to have to develop fastball command, because everything comes off his fastball. If he cannot command it on the inside and outside corner, it doesn't matter what kind of breaking ball he has.
First 1-2-3 inning for Rafael Montero. Halfway through at Citi Field, 2-0 Yankees. Sunday, get to know one of the newest Jets as Janae sits down with second-round pick Jace Amaro, plus an inside look at this week's rookie minicamp on an all-new Jets Nation, Sunday at 7 p.m. only on SNY. Follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Chris Young leads off the home 5th inning and takes a strike from Masahiro Tanaka. Mets have had just one base runner over the first 4 innings. Quite a contrast to the last 2 nights. 21 runs, 24 hits in the 2 games in the Bronx. No runs and 1 hit so far tonight. Ball and a strike to Young. Tanaka has not walked a batter. He struck out 3. Lucas Duda to follow, and then Anthony Recker for the Mets in the home 5th.
And only 1 hit, and he hasn't been sharp. He hasn't really got it working yet.
Hit hard. That's through the hole, a base hit. So Chris Young has the Mets' second hit of the night, right through the shift.
Well, there's another split finger that just stayed up on a tee. Doesn't break. You see the split finger. That's why they call it that. Doesn't do anything.
So the Mets get the leadoff man on for the first time. That snaps the string of 11 in a row retired by Tanaka. And now Lucas Duda struck out his first time up. Young takes off early, and Tanaka this time recognized it, and Solarte tags him out. Well, Young tried to do what Murphy did earlier in the game. This time it didn't work.
What are they doing here?
Do you know it's 2-0?
What is going on? You can't do that.
Well, they caught Tanaka and Solarte napping once, but not twice.
It's 2-0. You got your Lucas. One mistake, it could be tie ball game.
A little hard to fathom.
Take away some green lights.
I'll tell you what happened. At some point, it was on some report that Solarte doesn't pay attention once he goes into the shift. Obviously, well, it happened with Murph. Murph took advantage of it, but it doesn't matter if he does because it's 2-0. You can't run with your home run hitter up.
Now Tanaka ahead 0-2. And Duda cracks one to center. It'll stay up for Ellsbury. 2 out. It's really a deflating play, isn't it, for your team?
Leadoff base hit. You're down 2 runs. You've got a very tough pitcher out there, undefeated. Been tearing through the league. You're going to have Duda up and Wrecker with power.
It's the stuff you do in sandlot ball on a Saturday afternoon because you're trying to catch the redheaded kid down the street who doesn't play that well. I mean, come on.
With freckles.
Silliness.
Well, a couple of those, small mistakes have really cost the Mets in this game. The decision by Eric Young to dive for the ball hit by Roberts, but you got the pitcher on deck and 2 out. That cost the Mets the first run. Here they run themselves out of a potential inning. Wrecker struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts for Tanaka tonight. Carlos Torres gets up in the Mets bullpen. Montero's at 97 pitches through 5. Never threw more than 98 in any game in the minors this year.
He started late, though, so Montero's definitely starting the next inning.
It certainly would appear that way, that they got Torres up because the pitcher's spot is 2 spots away. I think that's a little interesting that, you've been protecting the kid in the minors, keeping him under 100 pitches, and now you're going to push him past that in his first big league start. Two under Wrecker.
Oh, good slider.
When he's on, that's what Tanaka will do, is that fastball situation. If you're a right-handed hitter, you're going to see a slider.
Not a strike.
Can't guess with him. So now he's got fastball away, slider again, fastball in, or split finger in the dirt. Those are his only options, by the way.
It's a lot of choices. It's hard to look for all of those, isn't it? Goes to the splitter, strikes out Wrecker for the second time. 4th strikeout for Tanaka. After 5, Yankees 2. That's nothing. Smoke.
Is it blue smoke?
It's white, though. Do we have a new pope?
Oh. Well, the lines haven't diminished at Shake Shack. We just had some ourselves. It was awfully good.
Thank you very much.
Verizon trivia question for tonight. Most hits in the Subway Series other than Derek Jeter. Mark Teixeira leads off in the 6th inning, and Rafael Montero still out there chucking in his big league debut. He's gotten Teixeira to pop up twice. And Teixeira hits one to deep right field. Granderson back to the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. Into the Mets bullpen. Teixeira with his 8th home run of the year. The Yankees' 2nd home run of the night. And now they have a 3-0 lead. So Montero, who had never thrown more than 98 pitches in a minor league game this year, gives up a home run on his 99th.
Well, the big league, that's why this is the big leagues. Teixeira 8 home runs already, and he's been injured, not healthy.
Now Brian McCann, who hit one to the warning track in right his last time up.
That was a moonshot, wasn't it? Fastball right there, Keith.
Oh, he went out and got it. He went out and look at him. He's on top of the plate, striding in. He's a dead pull hitter now. It is not. Is he not? Excuse me.
I haven't seen many higher home runs to that part of the ballpark.
Well, you throw Teixeira downstairs. He's the low ball hitter. He had one thing in mind there. It was going to the bridge.
Almost got it to the bridge.
Where's the confounded bridge?
Well, he may not be running, but he sure is swinging. Two to McCann, off the plate with a changeup, full count. Now the 3-2 to McCann. Struck him out with a changeup. 3rd strikeout for Montero. 1 out of the 6th. Let's check in with the studio. Janae Coakley is there for a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Mets will be in D.C. this weekend, take on a Nats team that has really been struggling with half their lineup out. Jerry's Familia up in the bullpen as Alfonso Soriano hits one in the air to shallow center. And Chris Young circles in and has it for the 2nd out.
Ronnie, Montero has been known for having the great changeup.
Yeah.
He hasn't thrown it enough, I don't think. I think that's a very effective pitch for him.
I think that makes sense sometimes on your first start, right? You're all pumped up. You feel good about your fastball. I think you're right. I think he's thrown his fastball a lot. He hasn't been able to locate a slider. What he should have done, well, not should have done. I mean, geez, he's only given up 3 runs here. Is fastball, changeup, that order more often than not. You're right. It would have been more confusing.
Solarte, who homered his last time up, drilled one into the seats down the right field line. His 4th big league home run.
Can't ask this young guy to do it, but one of the Mets pitchers at some point is going to have to knock this kid off the plate, unless you want him just swinging from his heels.
Shallow right. Granderson coming on quickly and gets there to retire the side. So Montero gets through 6. Gives up the home run to Teixeira as the Yankees add to their lead. Deep into the Mets bullpen for Teixeira, his 8th of the year. Now to the bottom of the 6th, the Yankees 3, Mets nothing. That's Yankees finale here in Queens, plus bring you all the latest news and reactions to tonight's Nets Heat battle in Miami. Daily News Live, presented by Citi, tomorrow at 5 p.m. only on SNY. It's good having all those guys in the ballpark tonight.
That's right.
All the shows done from outside in Citi Field Plaza.
I hadn't seen Chris Carlin in quite a while. There's the numbers for Rafael Montero tonight.
108 pitches, most he's thrown this year, coming in his big league debut. Ruben Tejada will lead off in the home 6th inning. Juan Lagares out on deck to bat for Montero. And then Eric Young as the Mets look to break through against Tanaka. Tejada flied out to center his first time up. Mets have had just 2 hits tonight. Tanaka hasn't walked a batter, struck out 4. Wonder what it's going to be. What it's got to be like to never lose.
I can't tell you.
Sandy Alderson, a great line before the game tonight. He said, tonight's David versus Goliath. Yeah. You got one guy who's never lost and one guy who's never pitched. And he said, I hope Rafael Montero has enough rocks.
Right. Last time I looked, you can't win when you don't get a point. And the Mets haven't got anything yet.
Well, Tanaka behind 3-0 for the first time tonight. In fact, that's his first 3-ball count of the night. Tanaka 5-0 to start his Yankee career. The first time that a Yankee starter has done that as a rookie since Whitey Ford. Wow. In 1950. Started out 9-0. And for Tanaka, it's just picking up where he left off last year. 3-1. Out to right field. Soriano drifting back. 1 out. Well, so much of what we've seen from Tanaka tonight has to do with that tremendous split finger.
And he has picked his spots to throw it with 2 strikes. The split finger works this way, guys. 2-seam fastball. All you have to do now, look at the thumb. Thumb's on the seam. You just split your fingers. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. Keep your thumb in the same place. That'll take away the speed and make a tumble. Now, if you really want to make a dance, you take that thumb and you cup it at the bottom. Once you cup it, that's the 2-strike one that you throw that'll really dive out of the strike zone. The other one is the one that you want to throw for strike. When you cup that thumb, that's the one that you've seen Tanaka throw to Recker and others. I mean, he just has that back in his hand. What's great about it is that he just has exactly the same mechanics as he does in his fastball. He might even speed up his delivery, which makes you feel as though he's going to really hump up and throw a hard fastball. Instead, he bounces that split finger.
What about from a hitter's perspective, Keith? What is it like facing that pitch? How do you identify it? How do you lay off it?
You don't identify it because it comes in like a fastball. That's why it was such a wicked pitch in the 80s. Now, when it first came in with Bruce Sutter, as Lagares swings and misses, that's all Bruce threw, and it was very effective. And he threw it 3 speeds, and you can make it break straight down. You can make it break away from or into a right-hand hitter, or make it break the other way. He was that good, and he had 3 speeds with it. He would get you ahead, get ahead of you, and you throw it in the hard one in the dirt and see if you go fishing. But
Solarte, tough play, off balance throw, got a nice play by Solarte for the second out.
But that's all Bruce threw. Then all of a sudden, nice play by Solarte here, throwing on the run. You mentioned it earlier, Roger Craig manages the Giants, and Roger Craig was the first one to infuse it into a pitcher's repertoire. And then it was very difficult. You had Scott Garrelts, you had Kelly Downs.
Yeah, that's right.
Mike Lacoste was an average pitcher. And Mike's friend, Mike, I hope I haven't offended you, but you were very average when you pitched with the Reds. And you got the split finger, and it made him a better pitcher. It was just, it's a wicked pitch. Now, Gary, you have to make him get it up with his breaking down. So if it starts at mid-thigh, it's going to be a strike. If it's below the mid-thigh, it's going to be in the dirt.
But if you can't figure out the difference between a splitter and a fastball,
I understand.
You're going to take a fastball at the knees, and you're going to be struck out.
It makes you have to wait as a hitter. It makes you more vulnerable inside. And you got a guy like, to me, Garrelts and Mike Scott.
Yeah.
They threw bullets. They're very difficult.
Carlos Torres getting ready in the Mets bullpen. Eric Young's been up twice, grounded out to Teixeira both times. So then the question becomes, Ronnie, why did pitchers stop throwing it?
Well, I think a lot of organizations thought it was hurting pitchers' elbows. That's very funny.
That's pretty funny.
Ironic. But I will say, and I think I tried to say in the open, I might not have said it correctly, is that a lot of teams have dissuaded their pitchers from throwing it. Very few pitchers do throw it. And one of the best in the world, has brought it over from Japan, and he was paid $155 million. And these hitters go up to the plate, and they have seen changeups and sliders and curveballs and fastballs and cutters, but they have not seen the split finger. He's going to be the only one, and he is going to rush through this league with that pitch.
Do you think, as a result, that more American pitchers will start to throw it?
It was a pitch that I acquired because I could never learn how to throw a correct changeup, and I needed a change of pace. And it's honestly, after I'd lost some of my fastball, and really was when I lost my curveball when I broke my thumb, it saved my career.
Another thing, too, Gary, the point I wanted to make is that they didn't throw the split finger every time hard. So it's an off-speed pitch. So whenever an off-speed pitch came, it wasn't going to be a changeup. It was going to be the splitter. So you had time to identify it. But, you know, Mike Scott never had a good breaking ball. When he was at the Mets, he was a very average pitcher. Always threw hard, but he could hang a slider with the best of them. And when he learned the split finger, he was a fastball upstairs, splitter in the dirt.
Right. Roger Craig was the pitching coach for the Detroit Tigers before he was manager of the Giants. The guy he taught it to over there, Jack Morris.
Young hits one out to right center. Long run back for Ellsbury in the gap. He won't get there. Ewing on his way to second. He'll pull in with a 2-out double. Mets' first extra base hit of the night.
Well, Ewing continues to hit. Too much plate on the fastball. Right down the pipe. Belts high. And that ball might have been out of Yankee Stadium. You never know. I forget. I played with Bruce Sutter, and I forget someone taught Bruce in the minor leagues. Bruce was a sinker slider pitcher and couldn't get to the big leagues. And a guy got him because he had long fingers running.
Yeah,
big hands, long fingers.
It was the Cubs organization.
I was thinking that the only pitcher I had heard of when I was a kid watching baseball was Lindy McDaniel. Had a split finger forkball kind of pitch.
Forkball, but that was more a changeup than a split finger fastball.
Breaking pitch.
Right.
Elroy Face had the forkball.
Daniel Murphy 1 for 2. He's hit 2 balls hard tonight. Last time up, drove one to right, and Soriano made a terrific play going away to take an extra base hit away from Murph, so he continues to swing the bat well.
Well, let's see how he pitches him here. Okay, Murph's the one guy that's been on him. He got ahead last time, hit the bullet to Soriano. Let him off with a cutter in for strike one.
Montero's work done, looking on. And Murphy lays off.
That's a good eye right there, Gary. That's the one. And all the good hitters with good eyes can take that pitch. That's a tough one to lay off. You've got to make him get it up. And this is my credit to Murph.
That's a 4-3 waiting to happen if you swing at that pitch.
It's well done, Murph. Well done.
Eric Young at second with 2 out. And Murphy grounds one down to first. Teixeira's got it. Side retired. A double and 1 left. Mets go to the bullpen as we head to the 7th. 3-0 Yankees. Patterson University in New Jersey, and the emphatic graduation speaker, none other than our own Kevin Burkhardt, looking just wonderful in cap and gown.
That is outstanding, Kevin.
Animated.
And strong words, I'm sure, as well.
Elvis has left the building.
So, Kev, what was that experience like?
My first words were catch Ronnie, Keith, and I in Carlito's Way 2. Coming out this. It was humbling, I would say, Gary. It really was. I mean, to go back to the place where you graduated, small school, get a chance to people to actually listen to a message that you deliver that you can hopefully affect one or two of those people. Nothing I've done in my life quite like it. It really was an honor.
Ooh. And a line drive right back at Torres, who knocks it down and throws out Roberts. And we'll see if Carlos is okay.
They caught him on the glove hand. I don't know if they caught him on the thumb. See that? They caught him right on the thumb, I think. He didn't get his glove turned.
He said he's all right.
Ray Ramirez, the trainer, out. Maybe got the wrist and forearm as well.
Yeah, I thought it caught the thumb part of his glove.
So first pitch thrown by Torres.
Well, good thing is it's his glove hand.
He's opening and closing his hand, which is a good sign.
He got it on the forearm, probably, huh? Lower part of the forearm.
When it just misses your glove. I thought it caught him right in the thumb. Let's see, of his glove hand. Tries to get it up.
No, I think it got him maybe on the meat of the forearm. We'll see.
He'll throw a ball. It'll be more interesting to see how he catches the ball.
This kid's tough as nails.
He's good to go.
What happens when you get a comebacker like that? It's like, wait a minute, we're trying to ease into this game here, guy. And Roberts is right on top of his game tonight, isn't he?
Roberts with a pair of triples tonight. And Torres is okay. Before tonight, the only player who ever had 2 triples in a game at Citi Field was Jose Reyes, who did it 3 times. Nobody else had ever done that before Roberts tonight. So 1 out. Now Tanaka will bat for the 3rd time. He's flied out and grounded out. So Rafael Montero in his big league debut went 6, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 108 pitches. Not bad. But this guy is, well, last almost 2 years, it's been unbeatable.
Yeah, I mean, solid. If you would have asked before the game, a young pitcher, 23, his first start in the big leagues in Citi Field against the Yankees, gives you a quality start. I'm not saying you'd want that, but you wouldn't hate it.
You'd take it.
Right?
Well, think of it this way. If he pitched last night, would have won easily.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
you're right.
It was lower forearm, huh? I thought so.
A little redness there.
We used to always call it in the day, Chub Feeney. You got a Chub Feeney.
Chubb, the National League president, had a signature on the ball. Now it's Alan Selig.
So we'd always think that the signature would be on your skin after a hit. Yeah.
See, up in the booth, we always refer to them as Wally Whitehursts.
Oh, you do?
Because Wally got hit by more line drives than any pitcher I ever saw.
The times you got hit, sorry, Ron, that the ball hit you perfectly and you had indented the seams on the ball on where you got hit, and black and blue where the seams were. That was an ouch.
Good fastball by Torres to strike out Tanaka for the 2nd out.
Tanaka aspires to get a hit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Brett Gardner's 1 for 3, singled back in the 1st against Montero. Meanwhile, Montero's thrown only 74 pitches through 6 innings. He's been going very deep into his starts.
Tanaka.
tonight. Derek Jeter would be next. There's a strike, 2-1. Broken back grounder. Murphy has to hurry against Gardner's speed. Safe. Infield hit for Gardner.
Well, Murph likes to play deep, and we've seen a lot of this over the years with Murph playing at second base.
Oh, he's out.
He's out.
Base.
That's one to challenge. Let's see. Terry Collins going to come out?
Yeah, he's out at first base. Watch the ball. You can't see it well there. And everyone's taking their time and walking around. And
let's see. Other angle. Maybe not.
At one angle, I thought he looked out, but this angle, he looked safe.
Safe.
No, you're right.
Safe.
Okay. There's a reason Terry's staying in and not making a wrong decision here.
So Jeter will come up with a runner at first and 2 out. Derek's 0 for 3 tonight, 3 for 10 in this series. Gardner certainly a threat to run in this spot. With his team up 3 and 2 out.
Really nothing to lose here in this sense is that if he were to be thrown out, you lead off the next inning offensively for the Yankees. You have Derek Jeter, who's done it a lot of his career.
Well, and the other piece of that is that Jeter at age 39 is mostly a single hitter. You know, the Jeter of 10 years ago, who would produce more extra base hits, you might be less inclined to run. Jeter has 5 extra base hits all season. Good fastball by Torres, 0-2.
Tied up inside.
It's that truer fastball he's had to learn how to throw.
Not many kids have to learn, or pitchers have to learn how to throw the ball straight every once in a while.
Just really, if he throws that same pitch with its natural cut, probably gets hit right over the plate. Oh, 2. Late swing foul.
So this wouldn't be a bad time. You knew that Torres threw over wisely 0-2. Ronnie mentioned earlier to try to steal. 0-2, Jeter in a big hole here. It wouldn't be a bad idea to try to swipe a bag.
Pitch out?
Could.
To Jeter, runner goes, pitch outside, Recker's throw, and safe at second is Brett Gardner. Ball sailed on Recker. Gardner has his 9th stolen base.
Yeah, but Tejada gets here very tardy on this stolen base, Gare. If he's there a couple steps quicker, as he should. Well, no, I'm wrong. I'm dead wrong. That ball ran away. My mistake. He's there.
Gardner stays as low with his slide about as anyone you'll see.
Good thing if he was a little higher, he might have gotten tagged.
Right.
So he's in scoring position with 2 out. Jose Valverde up in the Mets bullpen. 2-2 to Jeter with Ellsbury on deck.
They're going to go over the signs. Sometimes when a relief pitcher comes in, they will talk initially about what sign to use on second base, and the pitcher will sometimes forget.
The second base umpire, Mike Estabrook, on May 14th is wearing gloves. What has happened to our weather?
It's just cold.
Yeah, well, it's been cold for a lot of months now. It's about time for it to get warm.
Well, I would be for that.
2-2 to Jeter. And that one bounces away from Recker, and over to third goes Gardner. Wild pitch charge to Torres.
Does everything he can do, right, to block it. It just bounces to his right. As they say in hockey, he couldn't control the rebound.
That's how Phil Esposito got all those goals.
Garbage eating, is that what you're saying? Poor Espo.
And Torres was ahead 0-2. Now a full count to Jeter. Little tapper. Who's going to get it? And a little bad communication, and a run comes home as a result. Both Torres and Recker were calling for it. And by the time Recker got it and got it away, a high throw allows Jeter to arrive safely and allows Gardner to score to make it 4-0.
Ronnie, I think Torres is at fault here. I mean, Recker's adamant calling for this ball.
Oh, and Torres gets in the way, and they hit each other, I think, at some point, which probably altered the throw. No, they didn't hit each other, but he had to go around Torres and throw it sidearm.
And
Watch how he goes around him here, and that just split second changes the play.
And they also, if the throw is there, Jeter's out. Oh, I got it. You take it.
Well, it'll be a gift base hit for Derek Jeter and an RBI. So the Mets have made some little mistakes tonight that have really cost them. Go back to Young diving for the ball hit by Roberts with the pitcher on deck and 2 out in the second. Chris Young trying to steal second before Tanaka had come out of his stretch. Now the miscommunication between Torres and Recker, and when you're playing in this ballpark, those mistakes beat you.
In these kind of games, you're right. Exactly.
Oh, the wild pitch and the stolen base.
Yep. Ellsbury swings and misses. And again, it's 0-2.
You hit 4 home runs a game. It makes up for a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. There goes Jeter. And a foul ball.
Yankees frisky.
We saw this also in the Philadelphia series, and it lets me, or it gives me a little indication that teams have found something or seen something. And I'm not saying it's necessarily with the catchers. It could be with the Mets pitchers and their inability to hold the runners close. The Philadelphia Phillies were very aggressive.
Well, early in the season, the Mets gave up nothing in the running game. I think it was 5 steals in the first 32 games.
And someone asked Terry Collins about it. What did he say? They haven't played against any running teams yet.
Derek Jeter has stolen more bases, has more hits, has how many different lines in that Yankee record book. And just back safely. I mean, it's not like having, 20 different lines in the Tampa Bay record book.
That's right, like Longoria, the most home runs, right?
Yeah, this is the Yankees. They've been the dominant team in Major League Baseball, and Jeter now dominates their record book. 0-2 coming, and Ellsbury fights it off.
It's like being the best salesperson at IBM, holding all the records. I mean,
not like holding the record at a startup. What do you suppose the gift the Mets are going to give him is going to be tomorrow?
I wouldn't want to have to make that decision.
The Mets could have given Jeter a gift, say, 10 or 15 years ago. It would have been a ticket out of town.
Well, at least 15 years ago, right?
Anything to avoid having to face him, particularly in that World Series back in 2000. Bobby Jones had just bounced that first pitch in Game 4.
First pitch strikes, Gary.
0-2. Curveball, strike 3 call. And Torres, who had a painful start to the inning, finally puts an end to it. Ball never leaves the infield, but the Yanks had a run. Other than Derek Jeter, which player has the most hits in the history of the Subway Series? That would be Alex Rodriguez.
Whoa. My guess was Jorge Posada, who's in the building.
SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. I thought David Wright had a chance to be in that conversation.
Oh.
Get up to the minute news on tonight's Nets Heat matchup in Miami with highlights, reactions, in-depth analysis, and opinion on SNYNetsBlog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. And there is David Wright, 0 for 2 tonight. Started the night with an 11-game hitting streak, but the Mets have managed little against Masahiro Tanaka. Ooh, first pitch slider, 0-1. Tanaka just threw his 75th pitch. He's allowed just 3 base runners all night, 2 singles and a double, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Maybe not his sharpest, but plenty sharp enough. A ball and a strike to David. Tanaka looking for his 34th consecutive win. How is that even possible? I don't care if you're pitching Little League. By the way, Wright is 3rd on the Subway Series hit list. He had 59, 3 behind A-Rod.
The sinking fastball there from Tanaka.
There comes the old splittage.
David lays off it. 2-2. I believe we have some targets for David to shoot at out in the Party City deck.
They're not moving though.
You think it's easier to hit them if they're moving?
That's the trick. They have to be moving.
If you're throwing a beanbag, maybe. Throwing two to right.
Those cats don't look like they move too much.
Not at this point in the evening. Three-two from Tanaka, and Wright goes down swinging. 5 strikeouts for Tanaka, 1 out of the 7.
Chased a bad one here.
It just looks like he's not going to give you that fastball to hit. If you get a fastball count, you're just not going to get that pitch.
Jose Valverde back up in the Mets bullpen. Well, Tanaka with 1 out of the 7th now will face Granderson. Tanaka making his 8th big league start tonight. He's gone at least this deep, at least 6 1/3 in every one of his starts. What does that do for your bullpen? Here's your Mets box score presented by Chrysler. Not a whole lot going on tonight. Eric Young, the only extra base hit. Murphy and Chris Young with the other hits. Granderson's 0 for 2. And the curveball puts him behind 0-2.
Before tonight, well, including tonight, they had gotten 40 outs from their starting pitchers in the 7th inning or deeper. He's got 22 of them.
Well, right now there's not a lot left of what the Yankees started with in their rotation. One-two to Granderson, and the curveball in there. Strike 3 call. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tanaka. Granderson mutters a bit with Mike DeMuro before trotting away.
So now Granderson has seen the cutter in, fastball away, fastball in, split finger, and now backdoor curveball. I thought this was a ball personally, that it went around the plate, but McCann catches that in the middle of his body and gets the call.
Look at that. 1944, the elder Mel Queen.
That's right.
Mel Queen Sr., whose son also pitched and played the outfield in the big leagues.
All of a sudden, the breaking balls come back to life. It's been a very good inning.
Carlos Beltran sitting out the rest of this series. Wait to see if he needs surgery on the bone spur in his elbow after getting a cortisone shot. 0-2 to Young, who had a base hit through the hole in the shift his last time up, but then ill-advisedly tried to take second with Tanaka in his stretch and was thrown out easily. Still don't see all that many shifts against right-hand batters. Still a rarity compared to what they do against the lefties.
Well, what you're doing is that you're asking the second baseman Roberts to have a shortstop's arm for one batter. Some second basemen can't do it.
Well, especially if you're doing it against a guy who's got some speed like Young.
Yeah. Good call, Gary. Tanaka's trying to take over this game and not include the fielders.
It's like any top flight pitcher. You get them a lead late and they'll shut the door.
Well, we said it early in the game. The numbers show it. If you're going to get them, you got to get them early. First pass through the batting order, they hit 276 against him. The rest of the game, 205. And still plenty fresh at 88 pitches with 2 out in the 7th. One and 2 to Chris Young, and the curveball pulled foul.
Stories of Tanaka when he was in Japan, working on pitching every 5th day, using the American baseball to practice with, to get used to it and for future employment.
Knew where he wanted to be eventually. They say always dress for your next job.
You never know who you might meet.
Here's the 1-2. Way inside. If that were really the case, you'd have to be wearing a t-shirt and shorts. It's my next job.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Into the sunset on the beach somewhere.
Retirement.
That's exactly right.
I can just see you on the beach. You and Len.
Watch out what you wish for.
In the big Great Dane.
Could come earlier than you think.
Well, you never know. That's why you got to be ready. All it takes is one wave of the hand. Bye. It's been nice having you.
Chris Young just pulling the out lighter there, getting the mud off his cleats.
If Oliver patented that.
He should have.
8th pitch of the at bat from Tanaka to Chris Young. And he struck him out. Masahiro Tanaka strikes out the side in the bottom of the 7th. He's got 7 punch outs and 7 scoreless innings. 4-0 Yankees. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by the NYU SCPS Masters in Sports Business. Hyundai leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting buyhyundai.com today. And by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Pat Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcawley.com.
Cawley's got to update that photo. Come on now.
Jose Valverde in to pitch the 8th inning. Mets make changes in the outfield. Curtis Granderson moves from right field to center field. Bobby Abreu comes in to play right. He'll bat 9th in a double switch, and the pitcher Valverde will hit 5th.
Double switch means you're trying to get 6 outs out of Valverde, I guess.
Facing Teixeira, who homered his last time up, his 8th of the year. And he dots one on the inside corner, 1-1. Valverde last pitched on Sunday. Gave up a run against the Phillies. pulled, just foul. 1-2.
Burgers.
That's your grill. Keith's grill.
I'm gonna have to talk to them. They got to clean that grill a little bit there.
That burger needs a little company, Keith.
That means they're selling out.
It's late. It's late. It's the 8th inning. Maybe that dude will buy it. One, two. Going in. Well, you'd have to believe that the injury to Dylan G might have saved Jose Valverde's spot on this pitching staff for the moment.
Absolutely.
That's put G on the DL today to make room for Montero. And Jacob deGrom takes the start for G tomorrow. But had it not been for G's injury, as Teixeira goes down swinging for the first out, Mets would have had to make a move with the pitcher, and you'd have to think that Valverde would be first on the chopping block.
Well, fastball here by Teixeira. I was just wondering, I didn't hear your open. Were you talking about Dylan and is it a real tough strain on his lat, or is
they think that in a perfect world he'd miss only one start? They took a precaution of putting him on the DL, so he'll miss 2. They're City Problems tomorrow. A couple of first-time starters. Jacob deGrom for the Mets. Chase Whitley for the Yankees. Whitley's been mostly a reliever in his minor league career. Funny how things work out, right? Whitley, mostly a reliever in his minor league career, will make the start for the Yankees. deGrom was brought up to work in the bullpen, having never done that before, and through the circumstance of G's injury winds up getting the start.
deGrom might have better moss than Bronson Arroyo.
I think he's got Jeff Samardzija here.
Oh, okay, good call. Good call.
Now, if he has Jeff Samardzija's fastball.
Now we're working, right?
What's going to happen with Samardzija in Chicago?
We just don't want Samardzija's luck. That's what you don't want.
Well, are they going to trade him?
Well, it's that, and David Price too is another guy that.
But at least the Rays have a chance.
Yeah.
The Cubs have no chance.
Well, I think they want the world for him, and if they get it, they will.
2-1 to McCann, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
I mean, the Cubs have some young players that are coming up that are much heralded, and they think they're going to be fine as far as the hitting prospects are concerned, but the pitching is short.
Yeah, they have one of the best hitting prospects in baseball, Javier Baez, who's not all that far away.
They got Anthony Rizzo in the majors, Starlin Castro playing short.
Castro has really had a resurgence this year.
Yes.
But they are 13 and 25, and not a prospect of them going very far, at least not this year. McCann drills one down the right field line. Foul. Valverde, the third-man pitcher of the night. Rafael Montero in his debut went 6, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits. Carlos Torres got nibbled for a run on 2 hits in his inning. And McCann floats one to shallow left. On comes Eric Young. 2 out. So 2 out and nobody on for Alfonso Soriano, who's grounded out twice and flied out. The Yankees trying to snap a 6-game losing streak against the Mets. It's the second longest streak in this Subway Series since it began in 1997. Back in 2002, 2003, the Yankees beat the Mets 7 straight times.
Game is kind of settled in a little bit, slowed down the pace. I think everybody's been put to sleep by Tanaka here.
Well, we think about it this way. We spent the last 2 days talking about there's no such thing as a big lead, and here we are at a 4-run deficit, and it feels like a huge lead.
Yes. Right. Good point, Ron. Very good point.
Change of venue. Counselor. One to Soriano. Valverde leaves it away. Somehow, in their long careers, Soriano's only had 2 at-bats against Valverde.
How is that possible?
I don't know. A couple of 38-year-olds going head-to-head. Little looper. Todd is right there. Side retired. So 1-2-3 inning for Valverde in the top of the 8th. Mets will have Duda, Recker, and Tejada coming up to try and break up Tanaka's shutout. Around for a sports night. Steve Kerr is going to go to Oakland, and video from his modeling shoot. That'll be very exciting. See what Chris is featuring.
Who's modeling shoot?
Chris.
Modeling shoot for what?
I don't know. We'll find out on sports night. That's part of the mystery.
Now
tonight.
that's a tease.
Yeah, that's what we do. Bobby Hita will be along on post-game show after we're done here. I think Bobby Valentine will be there. Gary Apple.
Yep.
Nice to see Bobby V today. See that sports jacket he was sporting today? That was.
I loved his tennis shoes.
Well, we weren't supposed to say that.
Style Masterson.
Lucas Duda leads off in the home 8th inning. Tanaka has shut the Mets out on 3 hits to this point. Duda hit one hard his last time up, lining out to Ellsbury in center field. Last inning, Tanaka struck out the side for the first time in the major leagues. He has 7 strikeouts tonight. That gives him 65 strikeouts in 56 innings to start his big league career.
It's funny. He's gone kind of softer these last inning and this inning. Breaking balls, split fingers, and mix occasional fastball in.
Duda pops one up. Teixeira waiting for it and gives away to Roberts. 1 out.
You know, after last night's game, which was such a slog for the 2 starters, they both just struggled mightily, and that happens in a game. Occasionally you get someone out there that really knows what they're doing, and they can really make it look pretty easy.
Yep.
That's what Tanaka's doing right now.
Here's my question. 21 runs in the 2 games at Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
Mets have been shut out to this point in the 8th inning. Which columnist writes the column taking Terry Collins at his word that they should move in the fences 25 feet? It's going to be in the paper, one of the papers tomorrow, right?
1, 2, or all.
Record routes went right at Roberts, and there are 2. And I have a feeling that if Tanaka had been on the mound one of the last 2 nights, the result might be fairly similar to what we've seen tonight. That's been a couple of balls deep to right that might have been out in the Bronx, but he has been in firm command of this game right from the start. Here's Tejada, who's been up twice, flied out both times.
No walks. Critical.
Where was all that traffic? I didn't see where that was. Was that in the rotunda?
I don't know.
Was that back near Shake Shack?
That was back in the back behind the center, behind the center field scoreboard. I bet.
Usually when we do a tour of the ballpark, you get a card. I guess.
We don't have to tour Citi Field, do we? We've been here before.
That's back behind there where they have the merry-go-round and the tilt-a-wheel and all that.
The old wooden roller coaster.
Oh, look at that.
Somebody's
what
not
is all
only
that
keeping score, he's keeping pitch counts.
Wow.
Ornate.
That is just, that's too much. Come on, sir.
What do you mean too much? Don't criticize him for going at it.
Very impressive. But I like that because he's watching the ball game. He's observant.
Isn't that why you come to the game?
Look at this. There you go.
Oh, I see. He puts a dark line when the inning's over.
Uh-oh, there's a World Series ring right there.
That's a scout.
Those are scouts.
Those are scouts.
The stopwatch gives it away.
That was like a Met World Series ring, didn't it? 86.
1-2. And the slider misses. 2-2.
Just works on top. Once he gets on top, he entices you with ball with baseballs off of the strike zone. Sees if you'll nibble, but usually doesn't go past 2 balls.
Right at 100 pitches for the night.
1 3-ball count, I think, tonight, maybe.
Maybe 2. 2-2. On the inside corner, strike 3 called. Strikeout number 8 for Masahiro Tanaka. Putting that backwards K.
Let's go.
Roll scored. 4-0 Yankees.
Oh, backward K for call third strike.
Series tomorrow night when the Mets take on the Yankees at 7:10. The first 10,000 fans can trade in old caps for a new Mets cap courtesy of Chevrolet. Take the train to the game. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Subway Series. It'll be something of an historic event tomorrow night for the final Subway Series game of the year. Yangervis Solarte leads off in the top of the ninth against Jose Valverde. There's a call strike. Two first-time starters going head-to-head tomorrow. It'll be Derek Jeter's last game in Flushing. He'll be facing the Mets' young right-hander Jacob deGrom, who makes his debut tomorrow night. The Yankees will have a young pitcher, Chase Whitley, making his big league debut. So Girardi's had a lot to deal with injury-wise over these last few weeks, trying to keep his team above water. But, you know, we talked a lot about the Yankee rotation and how they've had three starters go down, and we saw Kuroda in the opening game of the series, and he's been struggling. That puts that much more on the plate of Tanaka. I mean, he's the one guy who is healthy and pitching well in that Yankee rotation.
He's really folded under it tonight, hasn't he?
I think he's up to the task.
Certainly it seemed that way. One-two to Solarte. And he tries to hold, but he went around. Strike three. Second strikeout for Valverde, who's retired 4 in a row. Let's check in for a preview with WB Mason post-game live. See what's coming up after the game. Gary Apple, Bobby Ojeda, Bobby Valentine. Guys. Did I say studio? They're right outside the door.
That's right. No top coat, nothing. Gamers.
They've upgraded that facility since '06, by the way. Well, here's Brian Roberts. And he drives one out to right center field. Chasing back is Granderson, and he'll get it for the second out. Roberts, who has 2 triples tonight, was trying to become the first Yankee in ages to hit 3 triples in a game, and almost found the right part of the ballpark. Nobody's ever had 3 triples in a game against the Mets in their history.
I don't think you take 4 better at bats than Brian Roberts did.
The last Yankee to have 3 triples in a game, Joe DiMaggio, 1938. Wow. So here's Tanaka, and it is certainly the case that if you're a starting pitcher and you take a turn at bat in the 9th inning, you've had a good day. Tanaka's gone 0 for 3. Well, Tanaka in the bottom of the 9th will be facing Abreu, Eric Young, and Murphy. He'll be bidding for his first major league complete game and shutout. He's not gone beyond 8 innings in a big league game. Ground ball toward the middle, and Tanaka to boot gets his first major league hit, just to complete his big night in Flushing.
You know that you are a renowned player when you get the base hit. Murphy got the ball from the outfield, just threw it in the Yankee dugout. I mean, knew right away that that was his first hit.
Comes in his 7th big league at bat. Steve Donahue, longtime Yankee trainer, taking possession of the ball.
You're going to come out with a coat?
Not the pullover, I hope.
You never know. The hoodie is very fashionable now for these young people.
There's first base coach Mick Kelleher.
No, that's a pitcher's coat right there.
That's a real pitcher's running jacket.
The snap buttons. Cool. You got to make sure you snap it right. You know, you go out there and you snap it wrong.
Then gets cockeyed.
Yeah.
Oh, zip.
Oh, zip. Okay. Zip's all right.
Zips are better.
It's not snap.
We can't mess it up. There we go.
Let's see, the weighted ball, is it in there? No. Oh.
You saw David Robertson up in the Yankee bullpen. He'll be getting ready in case Tanaka needs help in the bottom of the ninth. Here's Brett Gardner, who's 2 for 4. Had a interesting trip around the bases in the 7th. A broken bat infield hit, a stolen base, a wild pitch, and then Jeter hit one about 15 feet to drive in that extra run. Valverde had retired 5 in a row before giving up the hit to Tanaka. Well, they asked Valverde to use his secondary pitches about 2 weeks ago, and he has done that.
Still throwing 94. His only problem is his fastball is about as straight can be. So even at 94, the guys really can size it up. So he's got to mix in his other pitches. And it's almost makes no sense, right, to say someone throws 94 miles an hour and these guys can line it up, but they do.
He's another one of those guys with the rubber arm.
Gardner bloops one. Tejada back. Side retired. So 2 scoreless innings for Jose Valverde. Now the Mets will get their final chance against Tanaka in the bottom of the 9th. Down 4-0. Of the game. Oh, it's a Gary Keith and Ron bobblehead, and that is our statistician Dave Freed's youngest son Tyler.
And it's up to date there without the stash. Ron looks very happy.
I look like Ronald Reagan. No, I never looked like Ronald Reagan.
Final game of the Subway Series tomorrow night. Our coverage begins on SNY tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Masahiro Tanaka takes the mound for the 9th inning for the first time in the major leagues. He went 8 against the Cubs earlier this year. Pitched a gem in that game, but did not go out for the 9th inning. Bobby Abreu, first man up against him, came in a double switch in the 8th inning. Abreu, a former Yankee, takes a fastball for a strike. Mets have had 3 base runners all night. Murphy singled in the first. Chris Young singled in the 5th. Eric Young doubled in the 6th, and that's been it. Tanaka has struck out 8. He's walked none. Eric Young on deck.
Good one. This is called Shut the Door. Beautiful pitch right here. It's the best one he's thrown.
It's a changeup splitter. Just takes enough off after the fastball for strike 1. Now he could throw that hard one where he bounces it in the dirt.
Abreu lines a base hit. So he got an 0-2 fastball and provides the Mets 4th hit of the night.
That's 2 base hits of the 4. Murphy early, ahead in the count, tried to get a fastball in and missed. Didn't get it in enough. I thought that was a little cutter.
So how much rope will Joe Girardi give Tanaka here in the ninth with a 4-run lead?
Not a lot. Not a lot, only because Dave Robertson is in the bullpen. Their closer.
One guy they can really rely on out.
Yeah, I think this might be his last hitter if he were not to get Eric Young out.
Young doubled to right center his last time up, 1 for 3, and takes a fastball strike. That's been shut out 4 times this year. Only 1 complete game shut out against them, and that was Henderson Alvarez, who dominated them down in Miami. Those are all the complete game shutouts against the Mets the last 3 years. Splitter misses, a ball and a strike to Eric. The Yankees do not have a complete game this year from anybody on their staff. Tanaka trying to become the first. His high pitch count this year was 113. He's at 106 now.
Michelle is watching closely, isn't he?
1-1 to Eric Young. He sails one outside, 2-1.
Just being on the bases sometimes takes those American League pitchers out of their norm.
Last game the Mets played here at Citi Field, that came from 3 runs down in the ninth to tie. A little bigger hill this time. Down 4.
Ooh, good fastball.
It's his hardest one he's thrown all night. 93 miles an hour in the 9th inning.
Good location.
So whoever's trying to make these decisions in the future, pitchers can find something extra late in the game, Keith.
Well, after all those sinkers and cutters, he just let that one fly. Abreu at first and nobody out. Daniel Murphy and David Wright to follow after Eric Young. 2-2 from Tanaka. Could be 2. Roberts with the turn. Jeter's thrown not nearly in time to get Eric Young.
Too quick.
So they erase Abreu for the first out.
Only way you could do that is if Roberts could have really charged that and tagged Abreu. Once the transfer started, no chance.
So Ewy's at first with 1 out. Daniel Murphy coming up. Murphy's had some good swings against Tanaka tonight. Single to left and stole a base in the first. Hit a drive to right that Soriano made a very nice play on going back. Tanaka at 110 pitches for the night. Young not going anywhere, down by 4 runs. And Murphy pulls 1 foul. Ball and a strike to Murph.
Okay, let me ask you a question. First baseman holding Eric Young on. Are you holding him on to stop him from stealing, to keep the shutout intact, or
Double play in order. There's one out. With his speed, you would hold on. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ground ball, double play, way go over.
1-1 to Murphy. And Daniel bounces one back to Tanaka. Jeter drops the ball and he's out. He picked it up in time to get the force on Eric Young.
Just in time. And this is
Terry Collins going to come out to keep the possibility of a review open, but Jeter just flat dropped that throw by Tanaka and was fortunate to recover it in time if he did.
game-ending double play.
There's no way he picked it up in time. Eric Young's foot also was up in the air on that play. Watch when he slides.
A little low for Jeter, but he's got to make the play, and he does. Oh, the slide!
See, Eric Young stopped.
He could have broke his ankle.
Clearly an out.
Oh, he could have broke his ankle.
They've told everybody but Eric Young that he's out, by the way. Oh, they are going to review it. Okay.
Did the Mets challenge this?
They challenged it. Even after
we saw Guerin give the thumbs down.
Thumbs down, and maybe to keep Mr. Tanaka out there, I guess.
This should be quick.
If he slides straight in, he's safe.
Yep.
But he did the triple jump, the triple Lindy.
Well, they have confirmed that the Mets are challenging this. This is not an umpire review, and
he's out.
Clearly, he's out.
And Eric Young is very lucky.
That was a classic case of the handcuff, huh, Keith? With that throw, it kind of handcuffed him a little bit.
Down low. Still got to make the play.
Yeah.
And they confirm the out at second base. So the call is confirmed. It's the second out of the inning. Well, I guess
that could be the umpire's call.
No, the manager, it was definitely a manager's challenge. They announced that. And I think from Terry's perspective, it's a what the heck kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Rather than end the game with the challenge in your pocket, might as well give it a shot. Never know. But it didn't work out. Play under review was brought to you by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. So now the Mets are down to their final out of the night. Tanaka with one out to go to get his first big league complete game and shutout. David Wright trying to break it up. David has an 11-game hitting streak on the line. He's gone 0 for 3 tonight. Murphy at first and 2 down. And David takes a strike.
The one throw that Tanaka made a mistake on all night was the throw to second. There's a Julius Caesar.
Bob Guerin was pretty clear that the Mets should not challenge, but they did anyway.
I hope he wasn't referring to me.
Sure, the Lions won anyway. David Lions won. Jeter catches it, and the ball game is over. Masahiro Tanaka, his first major league complete game, his first major league shutout, a 4-hitter, as the Yankees win for the first time in their last 7 tries against the Mets, behind Tanaka, who's now won 34 straight games going back to his career in Japan.
You know, I was mentioning it in the open. You know, you had 2 rookie pitchers going, one full of promise and one who is full of polish. And Tanaka showed the polish tonight. Just had all the pitches working. He honestly struggled the first 4 or 5 innings with his control, but once he kicked it in, Mets had no chance.
And you're at a new venue here. We kind of expected a pitching duel. Montero threw a credible ball game for his first start, 3 runs and 6 innings pitched, gave up 2 solo home runs. But when you got a guy out there throwing a shut piece, you come out on the losing end.
Tanaka now 6-0 as he throws his first big league shutout. Game summary brought to you by your local Acura dealer. Mets fall a game under 500 after winning the first 2 from the Yankees. They fall tonight to the shutout pitching of Masahiro Tanaka. That was plenty. Yankees got home runs from Solarte and Teixeira, a couple of triples from Brian Roberts, and they win it 4-0. Quite an effort by Tanaka as he knocks off Montero. in Montero's first big league start. More from Flushing in a moment.